All right, what's poppin', y'all? 99 Dreamers, I'm back. Episode 2 of 99 Dream Podcast. Like I said before, 99 Dream because you're going to achieve your dream. And it will be 100%, but nobody's perfect, so you're going to achieve 99% of that. So, first off, I want to give a little bit of like a format of this podcast and what I think I want to do. I think I want to keep it raw and uncut. So, not too much edit and just me talking through, my experiences and just trying to give a real transparency about what I'm doing, and then just keep it rolling throughout the video and just really just give an update. So that's kind of going to be the format that we're looking at. So to give a update into my last week that I went through, like I said before, I'm starting an e-commerce company, and I filed for my LLC, and I've had that for about 3 weeks now, so I'm certified. And this last week I've been pushing and trying to get manufacturers because I'm doing a private label route. So I'm going to get a product that's already being made by a manufacturer and then put my own label on it and then put it on Amazon and try to sell it. So I'm looking for a product that's a niche product, something that has low competition, but, maybe high margins. And, at this point, I'm really just trying to start off with just one product and see, what is the entire process like, when it comes to talking to manufacturers and discussing, but then also putting it on Amazon. And from there, how do I be competitive and how do I get my product to the #1 rank? So, that's really big process that, I'm looking forward to, being on. So this last week, I started off contacting manufacturers on Alibaba, and, I'm not going to lie, it was getting pretty frustrating. Most of all the companies are Chinese companies, and when I was trying to converse, initially, I didn't know too much about, what questions to ask or, how am I going to try to create this relationship with a manufacturer, and what is the things that need to be known. So I initially started contact with one of my products that I had as an option that I may want to go forth with. And from this, I realized that, this discourse that I created with, a couple of companies wasn't really where it's supposed to be. And they ended up coming back to me because I asked for a sample, and they said the sample was, $30 for just one sample. So from there, $30 isn't a lot, but it was enough for me to think, okay, before I go forth and, put money down, let me make sure, I'm being correct with my steps. So I ended up watching a couple more videos about, how to contact and talk to manufacturers on Alibaba, and ended up, being able to create a script that I found, which is detailed and, has an introduction, looks very professional, and has specific questions that talk about, first off, what is the packaging like? Are you guys able to do the packaging and putting my logo on the product? What would it look like? Would you guys be able to send me photos, or, what is the price and the cost? How many products can you fit in a particular shipment? In like a master carton, and then how many master cartons can go on like a shipment delivery. And then also looking at the quantities of 500 units to 1,500, and then 2,500. So looking at those three quantities. So when I'm conversing with the manufacturers, they think, oh, this guy, he wants, a lot of business. When really I'm only looking for the 500 quantity just because I'm starting out, and I don't want to, I want to dive deep, but I don't want to dive, too far off the cliff. So, just looking at, majority just 500 quantities, and then from there of product, and then from there trying to get my questions answered. But I will say I adopted this new format, and I did certain due diligences on Alibaba, like making sure all the manufacturers I was talking to are verified and have trade assurances. But the communication is still not there. So I submitted, 4 requests for quotation to these companies, but they didn't follow the directions in my statements when I say, reach out to me via email. Either they haven't reached out to date, or they try to reply to me on Alibaba, or they didn't seem to understand what I was wanting and just sent me, some of their catalog, or just kind of like disregarded my initial request for quotation. So at this point, I'm a little bit frustrated. So today I'm going to have to, go back and try to make something shape back on Alibaba, see if I can really try to get to conversing with a couple of these manufacturers and just see, so I can start receiving samples, because I set my goals, for the future. So I kind of have certain deadlines that I want to reach for myself, just to make sure that I stay on track. So that's kind of like an update. And the lesson that I kind of take from that is really just about taking action. So take action and then learn from that. Take action and then learn. Take action, learn, execute and learn. So it's okay for me to initially, not have the best, communication with manufacturers, but it's about learning from that. And then, like I said, going back and having a better laid out, a laid out conversation, and me making sure that I know exactly what, I want. So that's a big thing. And with that, I also want to talk about, in terms of this podcast, like the reasons that I'm doing it, just so I could give, like I said, some transparency. A lot of it, like I said before in my first video, is because I want to give value. I want to be able to give value to somebody who's possibly tuning into my journey. And like I said, seeing my development throughout, me starting my e-commerce company, and then me opening other companies that I have aspirations to do, and just seeing how I change and develop. And hopefully that'll be able to light a fire under somebody else and give them motivation and inspiration to do, and achieve their dreams. But even outside of that, me as a black male, growing up, I didn't see too many, successful black men. It was really just Obama and then LeBron for me, LeBron James. So those are really like the two guys that I look to when I think of like really big black leaders. And it was when, about maybe like 3 months ago, like I said, the Social Proof podcast, I turned it on. The first episode that got me was Circle of CEOs, and seeing real brothers, that are brothers at the same time, like real black men, handling their business, being together, united in the front. That was so crucial to me, seeing that it's possible for somebody like me to go forth and start my endeavors. So that was important. David Shands. When I say I binge watch his episodes, I'm still just trying to get through every video in his catalog, just because I know how much information is on there, and him being, such a great interviewer, going through, his podcast and seeing how he converses with all these other entrepreneurs, you really get so much game. So if anybody's watching, I will say, go to David Shands' podcast, listen to that. You'll learn so much, and you'll also get motivated by every episode, and you'll learn something in every episode. So I'll say that. I also wanted to start this podcast so I can feel some sort of accountability. So when I come on my Sunday updates, I'm not, I have something to show, and I'm not just pulling up just to pull up and just talking, just talking, but I really have substantial things that I did, and just making sure that I'm holding myself accountable. And also, I don't really like being in the spotlight. So, I don't like taking photos, I don't like being like the center of attention. So doing this podcast, something that's a little bit different for me, is me being able to get outside of my comfort zone, and me learning how to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. So that's also a really big thing. And at the end of the day, I want to be able to create a village for entrepreneurs, just for long term, as this podcast gets going, hopefully, people get tuned in, and entrepreneurs, they see the process, and they want to become part of the 99 Dream community, and, be a 99 dreamer, and, achieve their dreams. So yeah, that's also a big thing. And then also just a soapbox for me to talk through my businesses. I have my sister that I talk to about my businesses, and a couple of friends, but at the end of the day, I need sort of a place to, like a soapbox, to talk about what I'm doing and kind of think through ideas in my head. And, this will benefit me by improving my communication, improving how I think through things. So those are kind of like the reasons why I want to start the podcast, a little bit of everything all around. But all in all, I hope it'll be able to create something that's of value for people who are watching. And like I said, let's get it. Second week down. I hope that lesson and just take action, and then learn, take action and learn. I hope that resonates with somebody. And, on to the next week. Let's get it. Let's be productive. This coming up week, let's get things done. So my next steps for me, like I said, are continuing to reach out to these manufacturers. Hopefully by the end of this week, I will have a couple shipments of samples coming to my crib so I can see what the products look like. And then from there, being able to decide ultimately what product I want to go forth with. So, 99 Dreamers, let's get it.